6 civilizations. 6 great societies. They built cities, fed thousands of people, reached for the stars, and then, poof, they were gone. At least that's how the story usually goes. One day, priests are climbing temple steps. Merchants are counting coins. Farmers are grumbling about the weather. Honestly, humanity's oldest hobby. And the next? Silence. Empty plazas. Roofs caving in. Vines crawling through homes people swore would last forever. It's spooky, right? Like everyone just stood up mid-dinner and walked out of history. But here's the thing. Civilizations don't vanish like a magic trick. They leave stuff behind. Ruins, bodies, descendants, words, whole reshaped landscapes. So the real mystery isn't where did everybody go? Nope. It's why did the system holding them together suddenly stop working? And when you look at 6 famous lost civilizations, a creepy little pattern shows up. None of them died from one single thing. There was no giant red collapse button. Just droughts, wars, broken trade, and leaders insisting everything's fine, while standing next to a building that's literally on fire. Ready? Let's dig in. Number 1. The Maya. Picture massive cities rising out of the jungle. Palaces, pyramids, reservoirs. The Maya tracked the stars, used the number 0, and wrote in one of the most advanced scripts in the ancient Americas. Pretty impressive. Then, during the 8th and 9th centuries, a lot of the southern cities just stopped. No new monuments. Royal courts crumbled. People left. For years, folks called this the Maya disappearance. One tiny problem, though. There are millions of Maya people alive today. Their languages, their traditions, their identity, all still here. So what actually broke? Drought. Again and again. And in cities where kings basically promised the gods would keep the rain coming. Well, that's a rough PR moment when the sky dries up. Add in constant warfare, shrinking water, and rulers too busy building trophies to cooperate. And boom, the whole system cracks. The Maya didn't vanish. Their cities just lost the argument for why anyone should stay. Number 2. The Indus Civilization. Over 4,000 years ago, huge cities spread across modern-day Pakistan and India. Planned streets, drainage systems, standardized bricks, trade for miles. Seriously advanced stuff. But here's what's wild. They left us writing we still can't read. No giant royal tombs. No bragging inscriptions. It's like the whole place is on mute. Around 1900 BCE, the cities started shrinking. Trade dropped. Populations moved. Old theory? Invaders swept in and wiped them out. But there's no evidence for that. No destruction layer. No big battle. No villain kind enough to leave a signed note. The better answer? The monsoons weakened. Rivers shifted. And people just moved. Toward reliable water. Toward smaller villages. Not extinction, relocation. Think about it. A fancy city with amazing plumbing but no rain? Or a small village next to a river that actually works? Yeah, I'd move too. Number 3. The Ancestral Puebloans. Out in the American Southwest, these communities built jaw-dropping settlements. Chaco Canyon, Mesa Verde, cliff dwellings tucked right into the rock. Gorgeous. Then, by the end of the 1200s, the Mesa Verde region emptied out. Buildings stood. People were gone. Early outsiders called them a vanished race. That's not just wrong. It erased the descendants living right there. Today's Hopi, Zuni, and Rio Grande Pueblo peoples? Direct connection. So why leave those incredible homes? A brutal decades-long drought, rising conflict, failing food supply. But they didn't wander off and vanish into the desert. They migrated south and east, to relatives, to better water, to communities they already knew. Because here's the truth, architecture can't make it rain, and a home isn't sacred just because you die in it. Sometimes surviving means leaving. Oh, real quick. If you're loving this and want to go way deeper into the ancient world, I just dropped a full course, The Secret Lives of Ancient Humans. 10 modules, 3+ hours, the stuff we never get to cover here. Links in the description. Come hang out. Number 4. Cahokia. Right near modern-day St. Louis, around the 1100s, Cahokia exploded into the biggest city north of Mexico. Maybe 10 to 20,000 people, plazas, neighborhoods, and over 100 giant earthen mounds. Built by hand, one basket of dirt at a time. Not aliens, not giants, people. And get this, it was diverse. Migrants came from all over, an ancient boomtown before rent was even a thing, but after its peak, the population dropped. By 1350, it was fading. By the 1400s, empty. Flooding, drought, deforestation, political tension, probably all of it tangled together. See, a city is basically a daily handshake between strangers. You grow food, I follow the rules. We all respect the people in charge. But when the perks disappear and only the burdens stay, that handshake falls apart. Cahokia's people didn't die out. They scattered into other communities. And Mississippian culture still lives on in native nations today. Number 5. Rapa Nui, Easter Island, home of those massive stone heads, the moai, carved by Polynesian settlers to honor their ancestors. For decades, the story was brutal. The islanders chopped down every tree, wrecked their own land, fought, and collapsed. A neat little morality tale, right? Look at these people, destroying their tiny world. Too neat, and mostly wrong. Yes, the island lost its forests. But the people adapted, building clever rock gardens to protect the soil. And new research? It suggests there was no giant population crash before Europeans showed up. The real catastrophe came after contact. Diseases they'd never faced. Slave raids in the 1800s that hauled people away. Violence, exploitation. That's what nearly wiped them out. So the old story quietly shifted the blame, from outsiders, to the victims. But Rapa Nui survived. Their descendants are alive today, protecting their language and their island. Number 6. Norse Greenland. Way up north, around the year 1000, Norse settlers landed in Greenland. They built farms and churches, raised sheep and cattle, and they hunted walrus, because walrus ivory was gold in medieval Europe. For centuries it worked. Then the western settlement vanished. The eastern one followed in the 1400s. One of the last records? A wedding at a church in 1408. Just two people getting married, not a desperate goodbye note. Kind of haunting, honestly. So what happened? The climate cooled. Sea ice made sailing brutal. Farmland flooded. And in Europe, elephant ivory took over, so walrus tusks lost their value. Trade ships stopped coming. Iron and timber got scarce. They adapted, ate more seal, hunted farther out. But adaptation has limits when you're isolated, broke, and the supply ship ghosts you. So some died. Many probably sailed back to Iceland or Europe, because why stay in a freezing colony that no longer pays the bills? So, 6 civilizations, 6 disappearances, and 0 single explanations. Here's the big takeaway. Nature doesn't destroy civilizations. Nature applies pressure, and it's the society, its leaders, its fairness, its ability to cooperate, that decides whether that pressure becomes a disaster. A drought doesn't overthrow a king. It just exposes whether the food was stored, the water was shared, and the leaders were trusted. And honestly, we mix up civilizations with their governments and monuments. When the palaces close and the writing stops, we say the civilization died. But the farmers kept farming, families kept telling stories. The descendants are still here. The Maya didn't vanish. The Puebloans didn't disappear. Rapa Nui didn't destroy itself. These worlds didn't end, they just changed shape. And one day, ours will too. Someday, future archaeologists might stand in a flooded, abandoned city and invent wild theories about where we went. Maybe they'll decide our office towers were sacred temples, emptied after a mysterious ritual called the Quarterly Performance Review. They'll call us mysterious, but we won't have been mysterious to ourselves. We'll have just been ordinary people, dealing with rising costs, failing systems, crazy weather, and better opportunities somewhere else. Because civilizations rarely vanish in one dramatic moment. First, the reasons to stay disappear. Then the people carry their history somewhere new.